And now Nina Nesbitt for lead us in Florence, Scotland.
Oh, Florence, Scotland, when will you see your lights again? They fought and died for your wee-bit hill and glen and stood against them. Proud Edward's army and sent him homewards. They think again. Those days are past now, and in the past they must remain. But we can still rise now and be a nation again and stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent him homeward. They think again. Come on, Scotland!
And another one of the best renditions of Florence, Scotland. Let's
That
go
was
for
quite
Nina
some
Nesbitt.
performance by 19-year-old Nina Nesbitt, backed by the Tartan Army. So they meet again for the first time in 11 months. And here are the teams. The Scotland team different in 3 positions from that which started so well against England at Wembley last month. All 3 changes are out of the manager's hands. First choice goalkeeper Alan McGregor is injured, so David is suspended. So David Marshall, who began so well in the English Premier League with Cardiff, is summoned in his stead. In midfield, James Morrison's withdrawal through injury hands an opportunity to Celtic's Charlie Mulgrew. And Kenny Miller, having called time on his international career after that goal at Wembley, it is Lee Griffiths of Wolves who will lead the line. Of this side, only Alan Hutton and Sean Maloney began under Craig Levein when they met in Brussels last October. No such turnover for Belgium, though they are without 2 of their key defenders. Captain Vincent Kompany and Thomas Vermaelen are both injured. So it's Van Bouten and Lombards at centre-half, with Jan Vertonghen past fit and required not for the first time to operate at left-back. Axel Witsel and Nasser Chadli are 2 more whose fitness had been in doubt, but both play. Eden Hazard, though, is ready only for the bench. And in the duel between Premier League strikers, Christian Benteke beats Romelu Lukaku to the number 9 shirt. So a very big night for Lee Griffiths, who's been prolific for Wolves in the early weeks, and another night in the limelight for Manchester United's newest acquisition, Marouane Fellaini. There's no hiding him. David Marshall in the rain, as I say, has begun really well in the Premier League with Cardiff and wins his first cap since March. Since they met 11 months ago, Scotland's hopes have faded, their management and much of their team has changed. Meanwhile, Belgium have merely gone from strength to strength. The referee tonight is Paolo Tagliavento, one of the leading officials from Italy's Serie A. Belgium in 7 qualifiers have dropped just 2 points, conceded just 2 goals. They are strong. We'd have a game if we had a ball. Here it is. Fabulously atmospheric night at Hampden. Belgium buoyantly supported by a generation of fans, some of whom have never had it so good. And Scotland always optimistically supported, and on this occasion with justification, because their recent performances have been good. They gave England a fright at Wembley, had the result, competitively speaking, of recent years when they won in Croatia at the back end of last season, and they are ready to build. Mark Wilmots has something big to build. There are a lot of wise judges around Europe and beyond believing that his team will be a genuine threat at the World Cup in Brazil next year. First of all, though, of course, they have to make sure they are there. Axel Witsel. Strachan, though, has, without question, instilled a certain amount of feel-good in the Scottish side since taking over at the turn of the year in succession to Craig Levein. Alderweireld with the throw. Made by Van Bouten, taken up by De Bruyne. Shifted on for Chadley of Tottenham Hotspur, who can run at Hutton, once of Tottenham Hotspur. De Bruyne whipping it in, and nudged behind by Russell Martin for the game's first corner. See the cohesion of the Belgians so early in the piece. It is De Bruyne to take. There is plenty of height in the Belgian side, which De Bruyne seeks. Benteke dashed to the near post, and Marshall looked a shade uneasy, chose not to come, and in the event, it was the right decision. For a moment it looked a nervy one. Played all three for Cardiff so far, began with the defeat at West Ham, but more recently kept a clean sheet against Everton. Played once before in this qualifying campaign in Serbia in March. Benteke kept from it by Mulgrew, who is given a defensive role in front of the Scottish back four tonight. Martin, Hutton. Looks for Chadley. Witsel. Here is Nicholas Lombards for Zenit St. Petersburg. Leave behind that city where many of the world's most powerful leaders are currently congregated with all of their problems, in order to help drive his footballing nation closer to the great summit meeting of the World Game in Brazil next year. Defour, De Bruyne, Alderweireld, dabbed in towards Benteke, away by Hanley, and a further clear from Stephen Whittaker. Defour beneath it, and now Fellaini. Lombards, Vertonghen, Chadley. Defour tried something smart, Chadley was able to make it good. Mulgrew sticking close to him. Van Bouten, Fellaini. Alderweireld, De Bruyne, Alderweireld. Dug out a very decent cross. Clear importantly by Hutton. And taken up by James Forrest. One back though for Chadley. Whipped in by Vertonghen. And gathered without alarm by Marshall. And Vertonghen tonight winning his 50th cap for Belgium. Missed the recent goalless draw against France, a friendly last month because of an ankle injury. Defour, De Bruyne. On from Mulgrew, pursued for the first time by Griffiths with Van Bouten at his back. Cover from Witsel. Out by the big centre-half, Van Bouten, who plays tonight in the absence of Vermaelen and company. There ought to be a weakness in the Belgian back line with two such key players missing, but the cover is substantial too. Maloney, Whittaker, Maloney asking Whittaker to get to the byline and deliver. Well sorted out by Alderweireld. And by Brown. international that Hampden has hosted since March. And in the moments leading up to kick-off, it was clear that the place is simply bursting for an occasion of this nature. Wonderful noise, not least because of the extraordinary visiting support which is dashed across the North Sea, and its excitement at Belgium's currently excellent position at the top of this group. Brown. Hudson shoulder to shoulder with Chadley. Really important nights these for Alan Hutton, who just can't get a game at Aston Villa at the moment. In terms of club football, his life right now is void, really. He was hoping that he'd get a move back out to Spain, where he spent much of last season with Mallorca. The transfer deadline window slammed shut, and he was left with just Gordon Strachan really to satisfy. Paul Lambert, the Scotsman in charge of him at Villa. And he's currently leaving him out in the cold. Fellaini, Defoe, Brown biting at his ankles. Fellaini, Defoe, and Witsel, Alderweireld, and De Bruyne. Retrieved by Chadley, who's kept it from Hutton. In by Chadley, Fellaini couldn't get a stud on it. Don't think it would have counted. The flag was up on the far side. And rightly so. Call from the Italian official. Fellaini, now a very expensive footballer, £27.5 million move on Monday from Everton to Manchester United, whose Scottish manager is at Hampden tonight, unsurprisingly. David Moyes, next to his dad there. Defoe, Chadley. Defoe, away from Hutton. Repelled as far as Witsel. Wide again from Vertonghen. Here's Chadley. Forrest on the seat of his pants. Chadley's cross, Fellaini's header. Benteke may have been in his way. And Fellaini's header is deemed to have come last off Benteke, so that it is a goal kick. But it is an auspicious start from the Belgians. Looking strong on the ball. Physically strong in all areas. And Mark Wilmots has a reason to be up on his toes and hopeful. One player in his own right, 70 caps for Belgium when they were strong, largely during the 1990s. Club career too with Standard Liège and Schalke. Clash here between Witsel and Snodgrass. Just getting a mild ticking off, having left an arm on Axel Witsel. Just confirmation that Robert Snodgrass, as you probably saw, did have a yellow card flashed in his direction. Fellaini, smart. De Bruyne. Witsel in too strongly at the back of Maloney. Scottish free kick. There's the challenge from Snodgrass, which earned him that yellow card. Also for frustration and perceived injustice. Really upbeat all week, Gordon Strachan, saying the closer you get to this sort of really big game, the more you believe in what your players are doing. They've trained well. There's a togetherness about them, bounce about Scotland at the moment. They can't make the World Cup, but every point, every win counts towards seeding for the next European Championship qualifying campaign. All sorted out by Hanley. Whittaker. Snodgrass. Here's Maloney, face to face with Van Bouten. Maloney. Courtois called into action for the first time. Not going to be a problem at his near post, but Maloney can be a mischief maker, not least from wide areas like that. Begun the championship season very helpfully with Wigan, already scoring goals. After suffering relegation last year and winning the FA Cup with that club. Forced back by a persistent Forest. Maloney. Whittaker. Snodgrass has gone tumbling. Alderweireld, the full-back, is the offender. And the ball didn't have an awful lot to do with it. He's just had a big transfer as well, the Belgian right full-back, moved from Ajax to Atletico Madrid last weekend for in excess of £6 million. Grew amongst those for whom Maloney will be looking. Van Bouten. Brown. Hutton. Cleared by Vertonghen. Smartly taken by Brown. Or Grew. Whittaker. Maloney, dispossessed by De Bruyne. Touch from Fellaini, on by Witsel. Chadley. Witsel. Defour. Time since Scotland have beaten Belgium. They've not met often, but 26 years ago next month they beat Belgium 2-0 here, thanks to goals from Ali McCoist and Paul McStay. At the time both nations failed to qualify for Euro 88. Scots in fact had already done Belgium a massive favour by beating Croatia in June. Croatia and Belgium, two major contenders at the top of Group A. It's because of that shock Scotland win that Belgium have a 3-point cushion. Oh, foul on Snodgrass, he's in the wars. Fellaini, the offender this time, and Manchester United's newest acquisition in Belgium's red tonight sees yellow. Sure, Snodgrass knew he was there. There is plenty of Marouane Fellaini. If you're challenged by him, you stay challenged. Quarter of an hour gone in the driving rain of Glasgow. And still nothing between Scotland and Belgium. Russell Martin. Norwich representation in the Gordon Strachan's Scotland squad these days. Snodgrass there, and Whittaker as well as Russell Martin. Moment for Hanley, but he was strong, backman centre-half. By Lombards, and nudge back to Marshall, who laboured to keep that in play but was successful in so doing. Winning tonight his 7th cap in all. Alan McGregor, a reminder, is suspended, and on that topic, by the way, Gordon Strachan may or may not have it in mind already that Robert Snodgrass's yellow card, picked up a short while ago, means that he will be suspended for the next qualifier in Skopje, Macedonia on Tuesday now. Mulgrew. By Vertonghen, read OK by Hanley. He goes over Fellaini. He had better be careful. Belgium's #1 superstar is in the referee's eye line a little too often at the moment. He's in the book and now he's on a warning. Forrest. Maloney. Forrest. Whittaker. By Van Bouten. Hanley for Scotland. Themselves came into this game 5th in a group of 6, with just Macedonia behind them. But with Wales and Serbia ahead of them, both still catchable. The last 3 rounds of games. Challenge from Vertonghen. And a free kick against the Tottenham defender. Did make contact with Forrest. Hutton conspiring over the free kick with Maloney. Russell Martin up and in the mix. Snodgrass edge of the penalty area. Maloney. Snodgrass, held up by Benteke. No foul. Supporters always a bit nervous when there's a centre-forward tackling in his own penalty area, but Benteke was just about deft enough, and there he certainly did take the ball. No complaint or appeal from Snodgrass. Brown. Maloney. Griffiths ahead of him, Fellaini covering, but it's reached Forrest, who's got Hutton wide of him, and Fellaini's covering again. That's me, he does get round the turf, Marouane Fellaini. Now Chadli. Brown hastening back. Chadli. Held up by Brown, but only up to a point. And when he fired it across, Grant Hanley had done well to get in front of the near post so that he could deflect it behind. Positional sense from the Blackburn player. And now De Bruyne with the corner that results. Flat to the near post. Give a chance to improve on it now. De Bruyne once more. The Tongan round the back, well read by Whittaker. Keep it in. It's another corner. His initial, essential defensive header, though, was really good. De Bruyne this time without swing. And throwing himself in was Nicholas Lombards. Hutton and Snodgrass together in the way. Lombards hurled a boot at it. There were enough Scottish bodies around to snuff out the danger. It did seem that Snodgrass possibly had the last touch there. He certainly wasn't complaining about Benteke's touch there. De Bruyne, Defoe, Witsel. Whittaker. Forward towards Griffiths. By Van Bouten. Belgium in extraordinary form. In 2013 they are unbeaten, played 6, won 5, drawn just 1, and that was a friendly against France last time out. Unbeaten this calendar year. Last beaten in a friendly in November in Romania. 3 points clear at the top of the group coming into this game, but aware that their next one is the really big one in Split, Croatia, in the second week of October, because those are the two really disputing top spot. Croatia are in Serbia tonight, so that result will affect the dynamic of all of that as well. Belgium's last game in the group is at home to Wales on the 15th of October. Alderweireld. Beyond Snodgrass, Benteke. Did well to keep it alive for Fellaini. Behind limply from Alderweireld. Located Benteke in the first instance. He's such a big, bulky individual, the Belgian number 9. It's very difficult to shake off the ball. Protected it for Fellaini. And then the Belgians ran out of places to go. Benteke, 4 goals already for Aston Villa this season. Big goals at big venues, 2 at Arsenal, 1 at Chelsea. And 1 to keep in the company of the others against Rotherham in the League Cup, but nevertheless, 3 away at the big London clubs. Really good start to his campaign. Lombards. From Benteke, that is back by Martin. Here's Hutton. He's asking Forrest to get ahead of him, and actually I think suggesting to the referee's assistant that the ball didn't cross the line. And you know what? He's right. That's hard on Alan Hutton. Mark Wilmot probably knows it. It's an amused look on his face. Appeared at 4 World Cups for Belgium, Mark Wilmots, between 1990 and 2002. Scored what is still a national record, 5 goals at World Cup finals. De Bruyne, Fellaini alongside him and Chadley the other way. De Bruyne hit it and Marshall was behind it. Clearest glimpse at goal that either side has had. Inside the first 27 minutes of the game, Kevin De Bruyne ran at the heart of the Scots with an option to pass in either direction, hit it from his point of view disappointingly straight at David Marshall. Cleverly done by De Bruyne. There's Martin behind him, but was forced to go again by Brown. Van Bout. Witsel. Defoe. Veralt. Receiving from Witsel. Then Vertonghen, on by Chadley. Hutton's gone to ground. De Bruyne. It's a weak finish again. Having manoeuvred himself into a really promising position here, De Bruyne, after Hutton slithered. He neither found the net nor Benteke nor Fellaini, who were begging for a simple square pass. Fabulous talent, the 22-year-old currently at Chelsea. Back there after a year's loan away at Werder Bremen. A couple of Premier League games already, including the big one at Manchester United a couple of Mondays back. Fellaini. Alderweireld. Clear of Whittaker. Header from Benteke. It's come to Defoe, who overhit his cross, and Whittaker smuggled it away. Nice touch from Snodgrass. Whittaker now, with a bit of wind in his sail. And Snodgrass ahead of him. And Lee Griffiths in support. To check from Mulgrew. Hutton. Forrest. Assistance from Vertonghen, who's earned himself a bruise for it. Hutton. Still on the subject of the wrongly given throw of 3 or 4 minutes ago. He's struggling a little. Maloney wriggling. Forrest. Gathered in by Thibaut Courtois. Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, who is himself on loan from Chelsea. Witzel, the 4. Fellaini. De Bruyne. De 4. Witzel. Vertonghen. The way of Chadley. Else. Teke handled. And acknowledges as much. Griffiths. It's a really good strong turn which took him away from Lombards. Forrest though dispossessed by Vertonghen. Benteke, nice touch. To 4, good tackle Brown, that's what he's all about. Combative ball winner that he is. Mulgrew, Snodgrass. Whittaker. Maloney. In by Whittaker. And to 4. Mulgrew for Brown! My goodness me, that's a good crack. And a really spirited passage of play from the Scots. Mulgrew looked as though he may hit it himself. In the event, he left it for Scott Brown, who was pretty close from a fair way out. A really crisp strike from the Celtic man, both of whose international goals have come at Hampden Park. None since March of 2010, so he might feel his due one. So Mark Wilmots and Belgium are not getting it all their own way, which isn't to suggest they expected to. He's been most respectful in everything he's said about the Scots leading up to the game. In particular, the atmosphere that he knew he would have to face here. Vertonghen's throw, trashed back in by Witzel. Once again, Marshall had a good view of it. Hutton's header out, Witzel caught it purely enough. So Marshall, even though Martin threatened to get an awkward touch on it, saw it all away. Maloney's ball out. Going to Maloney. And through in the thick of it. Through with a little bit of calming down to do. Mulgrew apologetic. Paolo Tagliavento is one of the top boys from Serie A. He won't take any nonsense. He produced a red card in last weekend's game between Juventus and Lazio, sent off the Brazilian midfield player Hernanes in that game. Forrest tackle deemed clean. Maloney turning. Whittaker going beyond him. Snodgrass now. Maloney. Snodgrass. In towards Griffiths. And out by Vertonghen, and further out by Fellaini, and now De Bruyne can counter. And Mulgrew is labouring to stay with him, and De Bruyne has got away from him. And there's Chadley, and there is Hutton, who steamed back at a rate of knots, necessarily. Brown. Forrest. Whittaker. Once more Snodgrass in advance of him. Fellaini blocking his way. Little touch from Maloney. Forrest scavenging. And Forrest going to ground under pressure, but no more from Axel Witsel. It's a daring, darting run, but he lost his balance as he accelerated. And Witsel was guilty of nothing but chasing his shadow. There's a real will about the way James Forrest plays. De Bruyne, oh, fine finish, and Belgium lead through Steven Defour. Fast-flowing counter-attack, and the Red Devils have their lead. Just as Scotland seem to have a real foothold in the contest, possession yielded cheaply to Fellaini. De Bruyne head down his flank and fed Defour, who coaxed it in neatly. And Mark Wilmot's excellent team have another advantage to defend. Steven Defour's second international goal. And the fireworks have been released amongst those Belgian fanatics. Pity for Scotland, and a bit hard on them because they contributed plenty to this game and they want to contribute some more. In by Maloney, up gets Griffiths. Back in from Brown. And Antoine can let it go. Terrific delivery from De Bruyne. Defour did the simple bit with swagger. I say simple, there was a bit still to do. He swept it home as if he meant it. And Belgium are that much closer to Brazil. Expansive red and yellow, that is. They were singing and dancing, clapping and smiling hours before kick-off. Contributed to smashing atmosphere in Glasgow all day, and they are only further uplifted now by that scoreline and that goal. Chadley. Vertonghen. He slithered again. Forrest away. This is a filthy night, not always easy to keep your feet. Here's Griffiths. Hasn't seen as much of the ball as perhaps he would want. Missed out Brown, came to Mulgrew. Now Snodgrass. Whittaker. Snodgrass, got away from De Bruyne. Hold back for Forrest to hit, and he's insistent that his shot got a little nick. Succession of passes this by the Scots, Maloney and Mulgrew. Then Forrest. There was no deflection. It is a goal kick. Brown. It's a lovely ball for Hutton. Tongan stayed with him. Done by Griffiths. Maloney, Snodgrass, by Witzel, De Bruyne, before the goal scorer. Last couple of minutes of really watchable first half here, which for spells Scotland have performed really well against the odds, ranked 50th in the world and playing host here to the team now ranked 10th, Belgium. There is though a great assurance about the Belgians on the ball. Whilst their goal was scored as a result of individual error, concession of possession by the Scots, and as a result of a fine cross from Kevin De Bruyne, I do feel that their superior poise, movement of the ball, is always likely to give them an advantage. Fellaini. Presented to Brown, moved on by Snodgrass. De Bruyne. Moving into one additional minute. Alderweireld. Witzel. De Bruyne. Chadley. Benteke, Fellaini, De Bruyne. Marshall can let it go. He's a box of tricks, Kevin De Bruyne. Wanted to pull off another here and given the ball by Fellaini, but then disappointing with his cross. This is one of those from whom you have to accept the good with the bad. De Bruyne. Clear of Whittaker, not clear of Mulgrew though. Half-time, most entertaining half in the driving rain in Scotland. And for much of it, Scotland would have been satisfied with the way they had gone about their business, but 6 minutes before half-time, ball given away to Fellaini, fed wide to De Bruyne, and fed home expertly by Stephen Defoe. And as a result of that goal, those fans are the buoyant ones. At the break, it is Scotland 0, Belgium 1.
The 2014 World Cup qualifiers return to Setanta Sports this September. With only a few matches remaining in the campaign, every game is a must-win. Watch 14 games from across Europe and South America, including Serbia versus Croatia, England versus Moldova, Austria versus Republic of Ireland, and Paraguay versus Argentina. The 2014 World Cup qualifiers this September on Setanta.
Well, Belgium went into this round of qualifiers as the only European nation mathematically assured at least of second place in their group, and therefore almost certainly of playoff position. Their ambition, of course, is to finish where they are now, top. Scotland, before any of today's games, were one of just 3 nations, along with the Faroe Islands and San Marino, who had no chance at all of making even the playoffs. Regardless of those extreme positions, there wasn't too much between them in the first half, and starting the second half here, only Stephen Defoe's 39th minute goal separates them on the scoreboard. Confirmation that neither side has made any changes at half-time. Whose smile broadened when Defoe swept home that goal 5 minutes before the break. Soaked but satisfied. Mulgrew for Scotland. Whittaker. By Alderweireld. Touched back by Snodgrass. Whittaker. Forward in the other full-back position, but Whittaker couldn't dispatch the pass. Martin and Brown. And as close as anyone to scoring for Scotland in the first half. Here's the man who did score for Belgium, though, Defoe. And Teke trashed off it by Hanley. Forrest. Great pass for Tongan. Griffiths wearing 9 for Scotland tonight, now that Kenny Miller is no longer a part of the setup. It's not been the kind of game or the type of opposition which is going to allow the Scottish centre-forward to be too much of an influential figure. De Bruyne. Alderweireld. Marshall safe gather. These two were last together in World Cup qualifying ahead of the 2002 World Cup, which was the last one for which Belgium did qualify. This game here at Hampden was a bit of a heartbreaker for Scotland, who led 2-0 in the first half, both goals from Billy Dodds, and ended up having to settle for a 2-2 draw because of goals later in the game from Strachan's opposite number tonight, Mr. Wilmots, and then from Van Bouten, who's also involved here tonight. So two in the Belgian party with very happy memories of this ground. About the 90th minute equaliser. Before Vertonghen. On towards Chadley, who's got clear of Hutton here. Clear of him again. Header away by Martin. Vertonghen, Chadley. Vertonghen. Benteke couldn't take it, nor indeed could Fellaini. Benteke wants it back, he went over Brown, and the referee pointed at the ball to indicate that that is all that Brown touched. Sportingly, Mulgrew has put it out so that Benteke can gather himself. Might have been an unnecessary show of sporting kindness. I'll tell you what, Brown did leave a bit on Benteke, and on another day and from a different angle, the referee could have taken a different view of that. Scotland are preparing a potential offensive change. The most prolific Jordan Rhodes of Blackburn Rovers can't help himself when it comes to scoring goals. He's going to be invited to pursue that habit further in the very near future. That is an unconfirmed potential change. We'll see whether anything comes of it. Smashed into De Bruyne. We do have a free kick. Mulgrew. Martin. Nudged wide by Maloney. Taken up by the ever-eager Forrest. He's not smart enough to get away from Witsel. Chadley. Witsel. Chadley. Benteke. A little too intricate. And Mulgrew has pounced on it. Hutton. Maloney. Forrest. Maloney. Nice idea from Snodgrass. Lifted clear for Chadley. Who kept it from Brown and has Benteke ahead of him, and De Bruyne going wide of him now. Fellaini up alongside him. Chadley had a go, and Marshall was untroubled behind it. 3 or 4 options available to Nacer Chadley, whose early season form for Spurs has been good. He's a big, tall man, out of keeping really with the stereotype that goes with a wide player. He's no fly-by-night winger. Muscular, hard to shake off it, and makes good ground in good time. Fellaini. De Bruyne. Still De Bruyne. And he stayed with him. Marshall only grabbed it once it across the line. De Bruyne, the deliverer of Belgium's corners. Winston, their fourth of the game. And he's taken them all. Witsel in the mix. Good header out by Hanley. Lifted back in towards Fellaini. Almost fell for Van Bouten. Fellaini, De Bruyne. Nicked out by Whittaker, and off goes Snodgrass. Only to run into the brick wall that is Marouane Fellaini. Aimed forward into the path of Forrest, who was closely marshalled by Lombards. There's certainly no foul there. Oh, clever take from Benteke, strong as well. Benteke's strike is wide. Really adept drag of the ball from Benteke. And he just slightly dragged his left-footed strike. Evidently got a deflection, because it is another corner for Mark Wilmot's wet but winning team. Which bounced kindly for Marshall. Hutton, Forrest. Maloney, Hutton. Maloney didn't stop. Goal side of Vertonghen. Cleared by Lombard, Scotland's throw. And Scotland with Messrs Strachan and McGee and McCall there. The three wise men, perhaps tempted to make a change soon. Brown. Up by Witsel. Good win by Mulgrew. And here is Stephen Whittaker. Didn't quite catch it sweet. Fellaini's header away. Excellent from Mulgrew. Suddenly Whittaker saw space ahead of him. But actually, once he began to be closed down, the target area wasn't great. Has already scored for Norwich this season against Everton on the opening day. De Bruyne. Mulgrew sorted it out with Maloney. Moved it on for Forrest. Griffiths up ahead of him. Hutton wide of Griffiths. It's Alan Hutton who couldn't take it in his stride. Went tumbling. And although there are some raised Scottish voices, none of them is that of Alan Hutton, expecting a penalty. Maloney, Hutton. That's a better take. Witsel in his way. And Chadley calmly out for Defoe. Teke. De Bruyne went over Hutton, who's had an unhappy couple of minutes here. Nothing wrong with Chadley's challenge there. Has now conceded a free kick ahead of what is going to be a double change for Scotland, which is going to involve an international debutant. More of that in a second. Defoe. Runt. Defoe. Witsel. Veralt. Brown. Mulgrew. Brown. Foul on Griffiths. And Lombards is in the book here. Griffiths just too clever for him. It was a really sharp turn from the Wolves number 9. And here is a double Scotland change and a Scotland debut in place of Robert Snodgrass for Ekechi Anya, who's got quite a background, the Watford player. He's been excellent playing as a right wing back in the English Championship. And he replaces Snodgrass. Anya, Glasgow born, to parents from Nigeria and Romania. He's qualified, or had been until this moment, to play for Nigeria, for Romania, for England or for Scotland. 5 or 6 years ago he seemed to be fading out onto the non-league scene in the home counties in England, but he has really excelled with an improving Watford team, and now he has his international chance. Just might be a wild card. Those players who was dropping out of professional football and benefited from Glenn Hoddle's academy in Spain, made a great impact. Throw. Maloney and Brown. Whittaker. And still Stephen Whittaker. And still Whittaker. Until finally it's taken off his toe by Alderweireld. And now with Whittaker out of position, and he's not the only one, Belgium can counter with De Bruyne. Away from Hanley. Covering challenge was from Maloney. And the referee himself catching up with the play. Sees that if there was any contact, it was outside the penalty area. As De Bruyne tumbled in. Unnecessary challenge from Maloney, and in the Italians' view, a clean one. From the edge of the penalty area from Axel Witsel. Which, had it cannoned against Fellaini, might have flown anywhere. 5 international goals in his 40 caps. Oh, presented to De Bruyne, played in by Defour. And Benteke robbed by Brown, which will come as a great relief to Grant Hanley, whose pass out from the back was not what Scotland desired. Mulgrew. Anya. Whittaker. Brown. Hutton. Forrest. Courtois was concerned enough to tumble at his near post. And a good purpose about James Forrest in this game, the young Celtic flyer. Strachan won't be entirely dissatisfied with the way his Scotland team have performed here against one of the very best international teams around right now. They've still got half an hour or so to steal something tangible from the night. For their part, Belgium half an hour or so away from could be an invaluable win. Fellaini for Tongan against Martin and behind. De Bruyne to take. Enveloped by driving rain and rhythmic clapping. De Bruyne's ball in, Marshall got a fist on it. And you're jumping with Van Bouten. Clear by Griffiths, to 4. Witsel. And you're sticking to him. And by De Bruyne. Just too far in advance of Fellaini. Suggesting that actually Marshall allowed that to roll over the line, and it was certainly close. Quite a full house tonight at Hampden, but it's a very healthy attendance, more than 40,000 in for a game that really matters to the Belgians. They've filled their section. Which has attracted a good deal of attention from the Scottish paying public too. Tongan. Chadley. Chadley, tackle from Hutton. Hard work this for Scotland though. Belgians protect the ball with such fortitude. Whittaker, Brown, Mulgrew. Got the winner in Gordon Strachan's first game in charge against Estonia in February. Ikechi Anya, now this is what he tries to do. He's got away from Alderweireld, in by Anya, and just over the top from Sean Maloney. Oh, what an impact from the substitute. This is Anya's point of difference. He can take on and rip up a fullback. He's got pace and directness. He created something really positive here and promising for Sean Maloney. And he has a new target man to aim at himself now as Lee Griffiths makes way for Jordan Rhodes. Griffiths has had a great start to his season domestically, as indeed has Jordan Rhodes. 4 goals in his last 2 games. 2 against Barnsley, 2 against Bolton. And there's going to be a change also for Belgium, as a former Evertonian, Marouane Fellaini, gives way to a current Evertonian in Kevin Mirallas. Still big mates internationally. Morales has started all 3 Premier League games for Everton. They've drawn all 3. Start of this season, and here he is, straight into the action, Morales, and Marshall beat him to it. Marshall indeed kept a clean sheet in the face of Kevin Morales just last weekend, Everton against Cardiff. Witsel, De Bruyne. Lombards. Chadley. De Bruyne. He wants to throw, he's not going to get it. Maloney, Whittaker, Anya. Maloney, Mulgrew. Brown. Forrest. Rhodes. Hutton. Chadley just brushed off young Forrest. Rolled out for De Bruyne, on by Benteke. Read by Mulgrew. Now Anya. Whittaker. Anya once more. Faced by Alderweireld. Brushes him off the ball. Witsel. Seen by Hanley. Whittaker. Rhodes, one of whose international goals in a shortish international career so far, was scored at the start of last season, 2 in Luxembourg, 1 against Australia at Easter Road, Hibs. De Bruyne. Chadley. Stayed with him determinedly. Chadley might argue a little too determinedly. The new Spurs man suffering at the hands of a former Spurs man. Gave him a little something in his solar plexus. Apology. Perhaps somewhat winded. De Bruyne. Morales, De Bruyne. Morales. By Hadley. Teke, Morales, and then Witsel. Vertonghen. Chadley. Belgium, who scored on this ground the last time Belgium visited. Very late in the game. Can Scotland do to Belgium? Belgium did to them all those years back on their last visit to Hamden, to steal something right at the end. Rhodes on the field with that in mind. He's clashed with Nicolas Lombards. The Belgian centre-half appears to be in some distress. Just the way Lombards fell, nothing to do with Jordan Rhodes. And it does look as though he's turned his ankle. And Belgium have a problem in this position, with Kompany and Vermaelen both missing at the moment. If Lombards were to be seriously hurt, it would leave a bit of a gap. Not fortunately that they play their next important qualifier until next month, till October, when they go to Split for that big decider against Croatia. But even in the very short term, their options are limited. It may be that Vertonghen has to play centre-half now and Pocognoli comes on. See how Mark Wilmots reacts to this mini-crisis. His only goal of the game so far, scored courtesy of Kevin De Bruyne by Stephen Defour. Splendid finish, made it look simple. But that moment of joy offset to some extent by this moment of personal pain for Nicolas Lombards, the Zenit St. Petersburg centre-half. He gets an encouraging tap from Alderweireld on his way off, and it is Pocognoli who comes on, and as I imagine that he will play at full-back and Vertonghen will slip infield to centre-back. Sebastian Pocognoli of Hanover. They've had a goodish start to the Bundesliga season, won their last two games against Schalke and Mainz, and he has begun each of the last three games. That's the guy they need, Vincent Kompany, under the crown. King of the Belgian defence, the captain is missing. It's a miscue by Brown. Smart turn from Morales, who's away from Whittaker here. Kevin Morales, Brown in the way. Trashed out by Whittaker, almost out of his own goalkeeper's hands. Rhodes lonely on halfway. Whittaker was labouring, as if running in mud for a moment then, as Morales tore past him, but he did, to his credit, get back to effect the all-important clearance. Pocognoli. Chadley. De Bruyne. Chadley. Left high by Vertonghen. Forward by Whittaker. Cut out by Alderweireld. There's Morales from wide again. Benteke, nice little flick, well read. Not to be forgotten that Scotland weren't able to come into this game absolutely at full strength. Never mind the retirement of Kenny Miller and the suspension to Alan McGregor. They had late-ish pullouts, George Boyd, Graham Dorrans, James Morrison, the pair from West Brom. McGregor, though he will be eligible, won't be fit to play in Tuesday's game in Macedonia either. So Marshall will get another turn, presumably. Mulgrew. The Scots carved themselves out another chance. They've been few and far between. Weather hasn't changed much. Behind the rain there is the captain of Belgium and friends. I've no doubt to be playing. Hudson. Rolled in for Forrest. Snatched away by Vertonghen. Hit long towards Benteke. Beaten aerially by Mulgrew. Now here's Hutton with a yard or two in front of him and Mulgrew wide of him. Charlie Mulgrew. Anya can keep this alive. Faced by Alderweireld. Anya's cross. Out by Defoe. Whittaker's throw. Mulgrew, Whittaker, Maloney, Brown, onside here towards Rhodes. And his was the last touch. Still in this, Scotland. Within a goal and within a yard or two there in the person of Jordan Rhodes. Brown having made a bright run in behind. Now one more change that Gordon Strachan could make to alter the dynamic of the game. Two of his substitutes used. Hutton. But nearly away from Forrest. Brown, Forrest, just about scraped it clear, came to Mulgrew, whose first touch was too thick, who castigates himself as De Bruyne seeks the counter. Good support from Morales, Anya tackling back. Whittaker, Brown, Martin, aimed at Rhodes. Get above Benteke and penalised for that challenge. Russell Martin, who indicates to the referee that he played the ball. The referee's retort is that his hand took a bit of Benteke as well, and it did. We are preparing one more attacking change. Ross McCormack of Leeds United will be with us shortly. They need to stay within one goal though. De Bruyne's free kick, Marshall backpedaling. Looked to apply a fingertip to the ball and applied his head to the post. Whether De Bruyne was genuinely going for goal or just putting it into that area of uncertainty, only he knows. Certainly Marshall's fingertip was close, and the defenders in front of him indicated that he didn't touch it. The referee thought otherwise. De Bruyne with the resultant corner. Clear by Forrest. Snatched upon by Pocognoli. Here's Chadley. Out by Hanley. Back again for De Bruyne. Aimed in at Benteke. Hanley's done well once more. Chadley chasing it up. Maloney beaten to it by Witsel. Long range hit, and Marshall went across to ensure it was going behind. De Bruyne, an ever-present threat. Might just have been fading wide, but Marshall couldn't take any chances. De Bruyne's delivery, away by Whittaker, taken up by Anya. Sort of a night, a slip-slide night. Here comes this last Scottish throw of the dice. I must say, I think James Forrest has impacted really well on this game. Young player with great verve and vivacity, and willingness to run with the ball. But he has run his race now, and Ross McCormack comes on to win his 9th cap. The lead striker. To take. Away by Mulgrew. On by Anya. This has won his header against Whittaker and made himself a few yards here. Mirallas with the pullback and Brown behind. And a brave performance this from Scotland. Whether or not they can rescue something tangible from it.
Substitution for Belgium
are going to face up to another Premier League threat up front for what remains of the game. The great Belgian applause is for the would-be match winner here, Steven Defour, who scored the only goal of the game so far. And he is replaced by Moussa Dembele of Tottenham Hotspur for what remains of it. And he made a right pig's ear of that. I think was blaming the referee's assistant, but all he did was raise his flag quite reasonably. Whittaker aims it forward at McCormack. Pocognoli. Last flourish of Scottish support. One last rendition of Flower of Scotland As they try to raise their team to greater things. But here's danger for them. Mirallas ties it up. Belgium surely bound for Brazil. The bouncing Red Devils and their buoyant manager Mark Wilmots celebrate a decisive goal from Everton's Kevin Mirallas. Clever pivot off the pass of the back of Benteke's pass. Mirallas was sure in front of goal. And Belgium now within touching distance of their first World Cup finals for 12 years. No wonder Wilmots is off on his merry jog. For Mirallas, an 8th international goal. Hasn't yet scored for his club this season, but now he has tellingly for his country. And Scotland's brave resistance is broken. Team full of stars, many of them Premier League stars, well known in the United Kingdom by an English and indeed a Scottish audience, and they have come to Hampden and they have done a very good job, and they have wonderful support. The major international tournaments aren't quite the same without the Belgians, and some of the younger element here will never have known things as bright as they are now for their national team. They went out of the 2002 World Cup with barely a whimper, and they haven't been seen on the international stage since. But they're within a point now. It's not quite done, but they go to Split next month with great gap of comfort ahead of Croatia, and with a home game against Wales also to come, it is certainly Belgium's place to lose. No reason for Gordon Strachan to reproach his charges or himself. The way they've approached the game has been solid, sometimes inventive. They certainly set out to win it and not just to contain. But better players have won it in the end. Brown, Maloney, some would say they deserve a goal. Maloney playing it in, and Boughton behind it. Up by Pocognoli. For McCormack. McCormack's cross and a Scotland corner. And they are off and dancing. Pretty benign lot, it won't be a problem. Many of them bearing the Scottish flag. Maloney's ball in, Benteke's header away. Anya looking to protect it. Hoisted back forward for McCormack, who couldn't quite keep it from Van Boughton. Hutton. Mulgrew. Anya. Whittaker. Maloney. Momentum has gone, and so has Scotland's challenge now. Still one last thrust forward. Witzel's not having it. Belgium are very nearly there. Very nearly. Wilmots was wet already. He's wetter now. But he is a winner. And Belgium deserve to be. Their best national side for a generation is going right to the major event this time. Kevin Morales wrapped up the win on the night. Stephen Defoe having scored late in the first half. And those Red Devil supporters are having the time of their life. They brought great colour to Hampden Park and to Glasgow today and tonight. Scotland brought great fibre to the pitch. Gordon Strachan has, whilst he may frown, every reason to feel pride in performance. But the result has escaped them, and predictably one of the best international sides in Europe and the world right now will travel home with 3 more precious points towards Brazil. The final score in the Glasgow rain: Scotland 0, Belgium 2.